Was born into the royal Chinese family. When the Ming dynasty crumbles, he becomes an artist committed to capture the essence of nature in a single brushstroke. But then the new rulers of the Qing dynasty discover his identity, and Bada has to feign madness in order to escape.
Zhu's father worked as a painter and calligrapher. His father, too, had been a much revered painter and scholar. Zhu's grandfather had made him a scroll painting of a dragon for his bedroom. The young Zhu thought this dragon was the largest creature that had ever existed. Its sinuous body writhed in rhythmic loops and looked so lifelike that each morning Zhu was glad to see his dragon had not changed position in the picture. In his dreams, the fire-spitting monster broke free from the paper, and little Zhu had to leap into the water to save himself. He would dive under, and the flames would turn to steam as they hissed on the surface. Looking up through the water, he could see the dragon's green, shimmering eyes and flared nostrils in a cloud of steam. Even in the light of the morning, the dragon looked as if it might fly away at any moment or escape by setting fire to the paper surrounding it. The monster's scaly skin drifted between green and turquoise, depending on how the light fell. And yet his grandfather had not used any colours, only black ink on brownish paper.
Fascinated me most was to understand how he actually produced these paintings. So I got interested in the movement behind it. How do you organize your ideas that you can, in 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 minutes maybe, put this bird in exactly the right spot on this piece of fruit or whatever it is, and that's it. So from the very beginning I envisaged 3 scenes about the movement and about the creative process, and those were really the frame of the whole story later. And the 3 scenes were one scene from the beginning, one scene I knew was going to be the middle of the book, and the last scene at the end of the story. And I'd just like to give you an idea of those scenes because it was really about a movement I saw. The first was when the father asked the little the painter as a young boy to walk over across a strip of paper, and he asks his son to dip his feet in a pot of ink, and so the little boy, he's maybe 6 or 7, I don't know, steps onto the paper and just walks across the paper. So he's leaving his first marks, and then he hops off the paper. And so the idea is that you walk as long as you've got ink on your feet. So that idea was for me the connection of one short 3 or 4 meters of his life's path. And when I learnt, that was inspired of course by the moment when I learnt that it's all connected with Taoism, and Tao being the word a path. So this was really a short strip from the life's path of this painter. That was, in a sense, the biographical side, the feat. Now the next thing, of course, was to understand how did he learn to use his hands. And the scene I had in mind for the initiation as a painter was a scene when he went to a monastery and he was instructed by his master, his teacher.